let me start off with these couple of comments here. It says, your trip, you take home money like, your take home money is like, your take home money is like, your money is not going to buy me bending to suit your expectations. It's not happening. Fuck them clicks. Fuck off, you haters. Go fuck yourself. And we don't say sometimes says it all. Okay, and what we don't say says sometimes says it all. All right, so that gets a little approval. And we have Patricia down here. You're doing a great job helping us understand the reason for failure regarding to this building. Please ignore the haters who are truly cowards, my opinion. I want to talk about one of those cowards in a minute. I can hear you fine. I understand what you're relaying to us. Don't allow those cowards to get under your skin. Just flick them off like a bug and continue to follow your teachings. Thank you so much for your time and education, educating the public. I want to learn. All right, I'm going to jump to this one up here. Oh, where'd it go? Let's jump down to Peter's comment about the garage. I've been getting a lot of this garage image. I thought we went over it in the garage, the video, but I think it's the garage. Peter's probably the garage. I could be wrong. Let's let this load. Yeah. So let's pause it right there. Pause. So this view is of vehicles and from the lobby area right here, and turn around the elevator. So this lobby, let's go to, this is a partial reply to someone who sent me an email, and they were showing that column 71, column 48, I think they're off just, they have them across from each other, 71 and 48. Let's go to, I want to jump into something, but I want to jump to here first. So he has them across from each other. Where's this one? Here is 48, 71, right, okay, there we go. Got them across from each other, and back to this tab. So 71 and 48 aligns with, now I got tabs up here. Go to Twitter, and there's 48, and, well, we can't see it, but it's there. But next to 48, it says, looks like 40, 45, or 48 looks like 45. So we go back to here, and we say 48, and then there's 46, and I guess they put 45 there. So these, other side of 48 might be 47, and then this is 46 and 45. This aligns with the parking garage failure. This is the top of the structure where the parking garage fails. Going back to the Twitter image people are sharing with me also. That's over here, but let's see if I tab over one, if this works. Oops. Not yet. Or maybe it's over here in this Twitter one. So I zoom out. And there's the reinforcement. The reinforcement is going here. Is inside this image. It shows that the reinforcement is falling down. It will identify itself as as the 12s. Okay, forget NIST. It identify itself as, where'd you go? Yeah. So they did change the format. Someone said that they changed the documents are missing. Well, it appears they changed the format. If you reload enough, the page, it will rechange the format. It looks like there's some type of timeline you can jump up here and play around with. I didn't try it. Yeah, we're going to pat 1 of 59. I think I sent the person, told him to go down to the bottom of this doc. Yeah, you can't quite read it. This looks like the failure. You can zoom in all you want. Maybe you can download it and it changes. But it looks like the failure area here on the deck side. There's data in here, but it's very small print. And that's right here. If you want to find it, you'd have to go to dropping this tab down. Yeah, you just go to the docs under media docs. It's a new one. I think it's near the top of the page. It's 59. There's a page, 59 pages. All right. So right about here where we have, oops. This is where they proposed the parking. That's what it was. They were going to park on the grass, I think, while they did the construction. think it was over there somewhere. There's the driveway where we come into the driveway to go back to that spot that collapsed, which is back here. And here's the planter box areas. This is 71, and that's 48. Okay, something like that. Let's look at that's where the cars came down. This is all on the same platform level. They want to do some reinforcement there into the piers and anchorage. That's pretty critical. Never happened. Now I have an interesting statement. I have somebody from one of the boards call. I won't leave his name, but he says he's on one of the boards for the Civic Association, and we had an academic conversation. And I said, you know what? They probably had a vote on these repairs a couple years ago, and the money's limited on what they can sue, right? Because there's so much of it, and then it won't go around enough. Excuse me. So I said, you know what they should do? They should look at everybody who voted in 2018, if a vote took place. Everybody voted for not giving up money to do repairs. Shouldn't be part of the lawsuit current day. They should say you're last. I mean, you can have your lawsuit, but you're last. The first bit of money, everybody who voted to do the repairs and adjust it and paying for them for the adjusted increase should be the first members to collect on. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry. To collect on the dough, on the money that might be present. Now. These are your lines. See, I'm trying to go in. Hold on. See, as I zoom in, I then lose it. So I might be able to download this file, and somebody else might beat me to it, and you'll get more clarity on what the lines are. In the basement, we see them go this way, the A that way. So let's move over back to this one. The person sent me an image, this one. It says this is what the 1'6" looks like, and their opinion that the 1'6" is this beam, and then here's now your elevation change 1'6". So this will be, even though it may not indicate well here, this would be the garage floor before you step up into the building, and there's your 1'6". Let's go to the drawings. So he's saying that this is the 1'6" is here, not here. 1'6" is here's our elevation change, which I need the damn drawings to show you. Let's see if where'd you hide out? Where'd you hide out? I had them up and ready, but okay. So let me skip over to this first. I had an engineer who's trolling me on here, and you're not the first one to try to troll me, and I'm going to be quite nasty in a minute here. So they said you should use a finite program, and specifically a STAAD program, S-T-A-A-D, STAAD program. STAADs, they can try to model your program. You put in the size, members, etc., and they'll try to find your moments, your issues you may have that you have to resolve. This is equivalent to this doesn't work. This works with new construction. It does not work with 40-year-old construction. I can't enter into this no matter what they tell you. You can't enter into this. Okay, I'm entering in now on this beam the contractor put in, because you'd have to know what each beam was like. This contractor put in a beam with the profile steel here, here, and here. He used a steel that was really tested at pull out at X amount of strength. And he used concrete that was 4,000 psi that really failed at 3,600. So you would have to know all these details to redesign a building, and then you would have to have 40 years to it. How do you put 40 years of use onto this? This should be equivalent to you guys, some of you guys out mechanics out there, you can understand this a lot better. You buying a 40-year-old car, and I tell you, hey, how's my car? Run it in your software program. You're like, my software program runs on new cars. You're like, run it on my new car. You're like, your car's not new, it's 40 years old. So then it takes an old school mechanic to get there and start looking at every single joint, every single connection, They say, okay, look, you got some ball joint problems here. You got disc brakes, but they're okay. You know, they met the requirement then. Your lines are rusted. You know, you're gonna need this to make this work. So telling me that I have to run a program that's like that is telling me that you don't understand structures. That you are a PE and you don't understand structures' behaviors. That they will not behave. A 40-year-old structure will not behave with all the, and you need to know how it's built, like any of these programs can run. There is no model for it. If it's a new construction building, you might be able to run a model for it if you knew exactly the layout of the steel again, because this was all in situ. It was all done at the in the field, placed together. We don't know what time they removed the form, so what was the actual PSI testing of this? The pull out. We don't know a lot of this stuff. There's the deck, and we don't. Then you don't have to. Then you'd have to add the weight of this deck. This deck has its own profile, as someone stated to me. They gave me insider information that this has thick sand at one place and thinner at another location. And so, how do you add that profile into this program? And then put the reactions here of a car. I want to talk to you about these vehicles. These vehicles are not for free parking out here. I mean, they obviously puncture through there. And there's one on its side. So that shows you where to stop. And this one, you know, part of this steel stayed up here. And it turned on its side. Someone mentioned the coefficient of friction, that the vehicles were, you know, when the deck went down, it would have held on to the side possibly at 45 degrees even before sliding. So this could theoretically, does this look like it went 45 degrees and then straightened back up? Are you on crack? You're out of your fucking mind. Your comment got blocked for the stupidity, but it got a comment now. This is punch here. It's gone right down, straight down. Now let's go to right here. This is punk shear. It's no 45 degrees tearing this apart. You see the materials there. They look thereabouts parallel with the column as it goes down. All right. So now we have the okay. So there's two images in here or not. Let me see. No, okay. I don't see two images. So I can get that. I'm starting to eliminate it. I'm trying to get back to the 1.6 here. The elevation change into the lobby. So they changed it. They sent me. Oh right, they sent me a photograph. All right. So there's column 46, and so this is 48. This is where, oddly, this is right about where they were going into the ceiling to try to find somebody. Isn't that odd? Because isn't that 48? If that's 48, doesn't 48 put us outside in the damn parking garage area, above the second deck and the open air? That is the confusing part. I'll get to the comments. Isn't this out here? Here are the columns coming up. Here's our elevation change. Here's that curtain wall, the glass wall, and this is outside. So we see them drilling in the parking lot, but it seems like they're there. But because it seemed like it was open there at one point, but apparently they were drilling somewhere else. We need to get those columns. I know one was red at the bottom. All right, so that was interesting there. And this wire doesn't appear to be in the way in the video. The 1.6, where the hell is that drawing now? So I go over, I already told you about this. This is a simple metal detector that will tell you the depth of your rebar so you can help figure out the profile of the deck, where the steel is. All right, so then we have all these cars out here. Here's the end of the structure with the cars parked here. And then here is where you go into a doorway, elevator, vestibule, elevator, stairs. So you're coming to the structure. Let's see, she comes out of that room. Oops. That's the ramp, right? This is the basement level. So I'm visualizing the basement level from this point. Right, that's what I wrote the guy, saying he got me in a basement. But let's go with 72. Let's go, where's the damn video? So there we go. So let's fast forward a bit. So there's the cars out there. And press play. So there's the elevator shaft. Elevator shaft would be here. So that person filming is in the upstairs level above the vestibule here, and this is the maintenance room. The ramp's over here. So let's do that again. So back to the video. You guys, a lot of comments about sending me this video again. So there's the entrance. Left turn. There was a car. See the car to your left? So the car to your left would be on the first level, and that would be not on this level because we're in the garage level down low. So there's the ramp down low. So there's the cars on the top level, and that's the wall, the exterior wall. Again, parallel there. So there's the cars out there. Let's go above. Well, they might do a bit of a bump out at that point, but then you get my intent. See the bit of a bump out or recess then. All right, elevator, and I don't know if they're going to jump upstairs yet, but I'll jump to the end of the video. That was magic. He disappeared. All right. It's this 611. This room, you guys can look at it. It's the same as the room in 711 where the cracks happen. So I don't nothing really to beat up there at this time. But we'll go to the garage. All right. She's very fast on this one. So this is, I know I can use the mouse key. This is the tough one. But I'll hit you on the ceiling again. It's 106, 105, all right? So we go to 106, 105, puts me, where the hell does it put me? 106, 105. So she's standing here, rotating. We got a pool back here to the right. Where's the pool? Okay, there's a pool. So she went down, they went down the elevator apparently, and there's 106. Came through the elevator, the vestibule area there. I think she walks through here at one point, but there's 106, there's 105. So we're not looking at anything special yet. Now let's go on with that. Fast forwarding, I'm pressing the one button, the one key at a time. 106, 105, so there's 104. And so there's 104. Oops. 104, so 104 is next to it. So we go to, what the hell are you? So there's 104. So she turns, she sees 66 and the back wall, 53. So somewhere about here, rotating. We're going to quickly see 66 and the back wall, maybe nothing there, and then a column there, 52 or 51. Let's take a look. So right there. And I'm trying to pick that one off for you. There's 52, 5-2. So there's your 52. So she turns, she sees 52. I believe this is 52. Remember the pool's down there. This is where our collapse happens, right about here. Let's turn, let's let it play. So she enters towards 52. She turns left. There's number 50. So she turns left. Where's my damn map? I'm going to push this over, tab over a little bit. So now she sees, this is what we see her seeing, 50. She's very close to seeing our failured area, which is right down here. It's 52. Yes, I noticed the 5-mile-an-hour ramp. It's speed. Yes, I noticed the water. I noticed the floor drain is what I noticed more importantly for you guys. That are apparently a floor drain. So I don't get the water being such a big issue. There's a floor drain. The walls don't have water stains on them. None of this is yellow. There's a trash can now floating in the air. It looks like, little couple low spots in a big area. Possibly coming from the ceiling, from the rain. They were going to take all this out. If you remember, this guy was going to really go at it, the engineer. So they knew about it. Again, who voted no to this 2 years ago, whatever the program was 2 years ago? Should they get a big say? All right, so she's getting closer. She's right almost on 52. Rotates. So we can triangulate 50, 52, 50. Let's see where she is. So 52, 50. So here's now she's almost where we can spot it. 48, 47. He's almost there. 50, 48, and then the next one down. We can spot that one. There's that red. So okay, so 52, 50. So 52, 50. I can see these two columns. I can see 48, and now we can finally see this one in the distance, and we can even see these guys, the smaller scaled ones. So we are at 46. So 48 is there. It looks like an 8. So here's 48. Going back to here, 48 is right there. She's right there on top of our failed section. And I got to overlay in my brain. This is the first floor, right? So it's only 2 cars that come out, or 3 cars. Yeah, 3 cars park up top. 3 or 4 park up top. I mean, we'll get back to that. We'll get to, oh, here they are. 1, 2, 3. Well, one partial, and I think it's 4. So 1 partial, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So 48 splits. 48, right at 48. That's a split where the car rotates. So right there, 48. So this car is leaning down, and these are in place. 1, 2, and 3 out to 44. South to 44, and then we see 42 through the floor, right? Through, we see number 42 through the floor out here, which is where, I'm trying to find imagery. So that's 42 there that we see through the imagery. Do I do back to this? Okay. So there's 42, and then there's 40 and 37. Below test. I already went over that with you guys. Nope. So there's 42 right there. Punch through. And there is 72. 42, 72. All right, back to this one. So 42, 72. So there is, I think that's 42 there. And there's 72. We go to her video, or his video, we see 52, 50, and then 2 more. So 52, and we see 3 more columns. I'm going to cough again. Excuse me, 52, and then 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So we made it to more than enough. There's 48. 48. We made it over to this column 45 labeled on there, I think. And then there's 42 in the difference in the distance. This one seems to be hiding. The cars are hiding it up to a degree, because I showed you in the last video. It's got the rebar sticking up right here is right where the planter is. Notice the offset. See, so the torque action can take place when the deck fails. You got some offset of these columns. That'll get you rotation and some burnishing differently on each one of those. I said burnishing on each one of those columns. Let's click away at this. So she's 52. It's 50. That's pretty clear. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back. Okay, so then, there we go. So there's 50, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, swimming pool. So 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, swimming pool. That's the jacuzzi, holding up that jacuzzi area there, right in line with that. So you see that line there in the vehicles. So you see the jacuzzi lines there. Now I think she hits the ceiling. Let's let it play a little faster. She rotates back around. She looks back there. 66. So she's rotated around. We're looking at 66 now. So she's facing this direction. And we're at 66 right there. So she's looking at this line here. This is right above the driveway when you come in, which has not failed. This has not failed. And there's no living. Yeah, the living quarters are over. Living quarters are there up above us, right? I don't know. I need to go to the next page, but I need to stay here first. All right, so there's 20-foot difference. She's looking at 66. 64 and 62 is the last one. So 64 and 62 is the last one, and then this is a wall. One's hidden inside the bulkheaded wall, whatever this is. 62, and then one's back there in the wall. Hey, George. What's up? You going to say anything? You just going to rub the... George is rubbing the computer. George, you going to give me a little cameo for the peeps? Alright, so she's rotating, 55. Very interesting. She's at 55, and then, bam, between 55 and here's 66 here. She then finds the repair, the ceiling repair that I've been looking for 900 years. So here's 55 right here, I believe, and it goes back towards this direction. This is not a failed section, and as I stated to the one engineer who called me on the phone, I said, look, I don't care what that repair looks like. That it may look like shit, but I don't see that repair as failing not because of the location, because I'm doing this live with you now, triangulating the repair, but it's not open. The sides of each side of the epoxy doesn't show signs of fracture, of opening more. So it appears that repair is down here in this direction. Let's do that. So it appears that 55. Let's see. So 55 is where. So look to your. It's to the right. There's a pipe. It's 55. Oh, it's before 55 then. There's 55 here, so it's before 55. So here's 55. So it's somewhere about here, and some pipes are there, and it's going back about, across. I don't see that crack as an issue. Let's see. And I'll tell you, oops. Shit. Trying to get a sharp image. We'll take that one. If this is the epoxy, as my man said, it'll like stalactites. If that's it dripping through, look on each side of the epoxy. I don't see a fracture. I don't see anything that indicates a fracture. And these are the little portals. I think these are all his portals for epoxy. Hey, looks like shit, all right? But I don't see the fracture on each side of it. It's academic. It didn't fail at that location. We have no evidence it failed at that location. And, it's part of building a demoed. So much for the epoxy being an issue in the cracks that I asked about for some time. I don't see that being an issue. Let's come to the right. Let's see if I can triangulate it better with the columns when she turns. So it stops about where that pipe is, right here. Right after the pipe, and then parallels. And then the pipe is my indicator. So before 66. Well, that's interesting. That's interesting because I said it was 55. And then I said it went this direction. When she turns, so maybe it goes this direction. That was intriguing on its own. Let's do that again. That's worth another bite at the apple. 66, 65. 65 is 66, 65. 55. Well, that was nice. I'm going to let it play for a second, let it rotate. She doesn't seem to be moving, so I need her to, she'll parallel. There we go. So she's going to parallel that one. She's still rotating in this spot. Please don't move yet. There's the standpipe above her. Rotate, rotate. She's moving. Alright, so let me spin her around. So that seems to be the driveway down there where parking goes a different direction. So she's here. She's here, and that maybe that crack does, you know, even though it looks that way, it dissects 50, 60, 56, 65. Maybe it is right here. We don't have the floor. We have the cars up on the deck up here though, Volkswagen or whatever it is on an angle. So that crack, I'm not going to chase that. You guys can waste your energy triangulating that a little better than I am, but it's not worth it. Okay, so what did we discover? Yeah, she's got pictures of the ceiling and all that. We already had the engineer's report that says that it's shit though, so that he needs to be repaired. So he knows that. There's a swimming pool down there that everyone cried about. You saw the floor drain. You should have seen in this video, in the previous one, I thought one of you guys would have caught it. When you come down the bottom of the ramp, there's a big-ass camera. Of course, we won't get to see that camera. And I'm just trying to fast forward this video. There's our beams above us. Elevation changes. So here is 103, is it? 103, okay. So now we know where she is. She's at 103. So she's right here facing it. Facing, about this angle, facing 103. There's the stairs. Seems like she's great. I think she walks over through here and around and comes this direction. She gets so she gets right underneath our failure. Let's take a look at that when she starts hitting on 80s or 70s. Let's take a peek at that point. So she'll be at the ceiling. Let's see. So 103, and then there's 1, 2, 3. So let's see where that puts us. 103, 1, 2, 3. We need to get out here. We need to get over here to the 74 to this is the stripped down one. This is the punk shear one, so that'll be 72 and or 40, 45. These punk shear too, but let's see what we can get. I'm just going to let it go faster a little bit. So we need to get to the right. We need to get over there. To the left, we don't need to get to. We already went over that with the ceiling falling somehow. Falling. Let's. Like I said, I think she goes around this car and then doubles back over towards our area of failure, which is awesome. I'm pressing the 1 key, the 1 second frame. So I think she's going to go right where we need her to go, which is like beautiful. Okay, so now she's coming this way. I'm going to fast forward. Looking at the ceiling here, we don't see any indications of punk shear. This appears to be the vestibule above us, the 1'6" elevation change right here. Let's go to, so she is coming through here. So we need to see, she's looking at these columns. Is she see, maybe she sees these columns. Well, we're looking at cars. Wait a minute. We're looking at cars, right? Yeah. So we're looking at cars. So we got 2 columns, 2 rows close together, and a vestibule. So we're looking at, and then there should be another row back there. So we're looking at 1, 2, and then the row behind us. So she's doing, it is great that she's right here. She's right at the punk shear failure, right at 70, I think it's 48, whatever it is, 48, 72, let's verify that. So there's 48, and across from 48, this is the edge of it. So across from 48 is the, what's called, the 48 right here is 70, well, that's weird, right? The numbering seems a little odd, because it seems like this is 72. Okay, 76, whatever number this is 75, and 74, this is 73, and it's 72, it's 71, and 70, this is 69 on this side of the column, and on this column 68 and 67. Okay, let's see what we got here. If we got any numbers. But looking at the ceiling, we don't see any punk shear happening at this point. This is a year before, so this is an exercise and an academic exercise. It doesn't mean jack. It was not days before. You guys, perspective-wise, this was a year before. Backing up. Shit. Oh, okay. She got closer. That's my 48 in the background, I think, right here. Let me verify that. Ah. It had a quick focus on it. Okay, maybe. Right here is our 48, and our 48 is here, which is our pretty close to our failure. It's over here. I think we need to move over one, even though this looks like 48 here. This is a 48. I think the numbers are slightly off. This is the outside of the structure. I think it's off by one, because we don't see the second largest. We don't see two. Here's 48. We see one more. There's the large one on the outside, and then they reduce in size. So perhaps not. It's 48 and then one large one. So this is 46. 46, 45. So that's 46, 45 right here. All right, that works for me. So then we are where we need to be. So she is coming through here. She sees from right about here. She's looking. We can see through here on an angle 48, and she's gonna walk. Let her walk. It's 48. She goes. I don't know which side she goes on. I don't recall. And the camera's got to refocus. And there's 48 here. Whoa. That's 48. And there's 46. So now we're at the fractured area. This would be nice to see this ceiling. So 48 would be, 48 is here, 46 is here. So she's looking right at the fracture. Right at the fracture. There's 46 apparently, and there's number 48. So she's looking 1 year later. She's looking right here where it's going to fracture across. Okay, up. Okay, good. 46. She's going that way still. Awesome. Is she gonna bail? She's gonna bail. Looks like. Whoa, we get a little closer. Okay, so she's right. Whoop. Oh, I remember looking at this one with you guys. All right, so right here is at the edge of the building where the structure, we turn to the left, where it peels off, and right above us is the planter. It's a little offset, but right above us is that one planter with the one direction that goes. So there's the planter, right beyond, on top. Here's the column back here. What I was trying to tell you. Let's see if I can find it. The other column is bent. So that's out there. It's right about where the planter is, and then that's the other one. So it's right about here. I can't zoom any better. And then to your left here, where these cars park, they back up to the wall, up to one of these walls. You can see this deck has fallen all the way down to where the yellow line is. See the deck, the yellow line? So maybe no cars were there, but this deck has fallen down to, that deck has fallen down to the yellow line, down to here. She she's looking, turns left would be nice. Okay, so we got a column number in the background there. Can I pick it off? Not that I need to, because I think I can triangulate these three before we make a turn into a driveway. All right, so that's a drive. Okay, let's back it up for you. So right there, there's two cars parked in that configuration. There's the end column. That would tie us to two cars in that. Here's the driveway that she's looking at, and two cars parked in that configuration would be. So she's walking down here, right around this column, and there's that jog. So there's the larger column, and then the jog out are the two straight columns. So she's right there. She's right at the failure. Let's back that up. So we'll back it up to the larger column, the shift, and it would be with blue around the base of it, if you guys recall. It's this one right here. It's got blue around the base. It's the larger of those other two columns there. You'll see blue in a moment around the base. It stood out in my line. And they're offset. Okay. So there's blue around the base. It's offset from those two. So then we go back to here. Here is the larger column. Blue around the base. Offset. With that said, does it look that dimensionally of those dimensions to you? It biasly, it doesn't look that dimension to me. But maybe it is. Nah, maybe it is. It looks wider. It looks wider. Wish the guy would walk over there. All right, so let's fast forward that. So we don't see any buckling in these columns. Over there's the pulley pool right there. Here is the pool deck. We're looking at it now. So we're underneath of the pool deck. Let's go to here. So they were underneath the pool deck at this point. Let's see, she goes here. Where these cars are underneath the pool deck. Underneath the pool deck. And we can see that we got some staggered columns here. We got all types of staggered columns. All right, so let's go to, and that's the driveway. So that's straight through. And wouldn't that make sense that we would have, if it was straight through like that, columns-wise, wouldn't that make sense that the shear path would be in that direction? With these nice, beautiful, where the supports would go across like that. Let's go. Yeah, so right across there, right down, right, and there should be a ramp here then. I think she bails. I don't think she goes. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, she bails left. But this is the pool deck, nevertheless, above our heads. There's our transfer beams. I went over that in another video, so we pick up our transfer beams now for that extension. Yeah, okay, straight ahead. So straight ahead, the building is right about here in this plane. So she's looking, so load. Somewhere about here, the building plane for the outside structure, some transfer beams, moving it, shifting it over a bit. Right, because that's where we get the cars that kind of fit in here, right here. The transfer beams are going to go across these guys over here. When we see the car parked, we see that it's close. It's got like it's confined, it's trapped. Those are our transfer beams, including going down to here, I believe. So let's beat it up a little more. So the pool deck is straight ahead in the center. The giant pool, which didn't fail, but right above his head, between these two columns, is where our failure is. Our puncture took place. Couldn't ask for clarity on that. This is 1 year later. This is lighting, I would think, but so cars are parked above our head right here. They're parked above our head. There is number, I'm sorry, so not that far. That's number 37. And this is 20, so not that far. We're too far. 37 is down. Well, 37 is not down. Okay, here's 37, so we're too far. At 37, we're way too far. Where we need to bring it back to the planters, which are back here somewhere. 42. We'll bring that back to the planters, so that's 48. And then that's whatever's next to 48. So whatever's next to 48. So 48, what the hell did you go? Way back right here. Here's the plane of the building. So she's out here she is in the failure zone. She crossed it right here, in fact, when we went to where the cars collapsed. She was right there where the cars collapsed. And then the driveway also. So then we go back here. So now she's on the deck area. Turn left. So she's right where the cars collapsed. We're still in it. We're not out in the driveway yet. Where it goes back to the building right about here. So we're still in it, actually. We're still parallel, right? Come on, put your head up. Put your head up. So these are the punctures right there. And turning. Number 29. So where I am for 29. 29 is way back here. Car, and I think so. It's this one. In front of the pool deck. This is where it consolidated the materials. So let's go. Where is she taking us? to the left, finding the parking spot. So there's number 28, 26. So 26 is right there. So she's reading 26 here. She's looking for 17, right? So here's 26. She's turning left. And it goes back here. We do see a little hole over here, but in the ultimate clean out, we don't know how it's created. What's more important is 26 our transfer beam collection. You see that big ass beam on top of 26 over to there? So that should verify over here. 26, we got a big ass transfer beam. Or 17, 26, 26. Oh, you got one there. 26 going over to 25. Let's confirm that. There's 26. It looks like a transfer beam to me going over to there. Biasly so. Wait a minute, not biasly so. That looks like an end and an overhang on 26. So 26 appears to have a transfer beam out to here and over to here. I think in one of the drawings it shows that detail. Let's finish this. And then maybe I'll bump up to that 34, page 34, whatever it may be. And she's looking for, she's right here, right before 26. She's looking at another side mounted. See, this is pure mounted 26. See how it's on top of it? And then take note, this is side mounted. There is a significant difference with the connections here. This is side mounted, like it's going through, and then, so is there a shift in 26 and whatever the hell that is? So 26, and in front of 26, 27. So they head mounted it like a hammerhead, and then this one they side mounted 26. This number in front of it rather. And then they end. So there's the clearance. They end it there. So there's some clearance, allow for clearance to drive down, I guess. And then we double them back here. So we can do that by looking at the bottom of the beam, determine which beam it is. She's looking for 17. She finds 17, but when finding 17, she finds this for us. She finds 15 with the two columns close to each other where the two cars are here. So these cars park on the opposite side of this number 15. Number 15 has these two right here. So here we are here. Car 15 spot, car 16 spot. And there's her 17. And there's a transfer beams taking place there. So that puts us square with that location with these transfer beams. And you're looking at the ceiling here, right above where the ceiling fell down per the video. And it looks solid. It looks good to go. I went over this again because everyone keeps sending me the link again to tell me to look at this again. Well, you discovered that it has a floor drain. It has a floor drain here also. The floor drains go to a crock, a pump that pump out. All right, so it pumps the water out that may come down this ramp or however it enters the building, whether it's through saturation. Oh, but ironically and very interesting, this is inside the building, just so you guys know. We see the ceiling is pretty copacetic. See how smooth the ceiling is? Because we're inside the building at this point, below the building structure. So you see, to verify, you see that the ceiling is awesome here. Well, not awesome, but you know, it's good. And it's not till you get out to the open car garage area, somewhere thereabouts, that we do get that saturation through the deck that he's talking about, the waterproofing, etc. Because the ceiling looks good here. But then when we cross out of the structure's protection, that's where we get our issue. Now, I talked about the ramp, the building being connected to this outer wall, which would be where she, if I get this wrong, right, where she is, 17. This is your, right, yeah, so 17, that is the line of the structure, the building facade, with here's the transfer beam areas, and so then it steps back, son of a bitch, steps back, so it loads where's the transfer beams there? It couldn't be there. So it's transfer beams, these are the transfer beams. So then it steps back to here, then you got a hell of a step back. So here's that bump out. So here's at the wall here, the stairwell coming down. Here's the facade, the face of the building. Let's see, maintenance room, and then maybe that's an entrance to the lobby. I could be wrong on this, but this appears to be right here where we have a line of, oh, this is that of line. This is that of line. This is where we have it. Huh. Time to get to that drawing. I know you guys might not like this, but let's do it. Let's remember 16, 17 is it. So you got to remember that this is 16, 14, 15, and these are in line with each other. There's a transfer beam here. You got to remember this. Sort of throw this in your brain. These two cars, these are in line with each other. You got to sort of remember that for a moment. Let's go to 29. Oops, I went too far, but let's go 39. All right. Hey, that might work. So this is what I'm talking about. The ramp comes down. There's the vestibule, the stairs. So the structure actually comes over. Here's her other stairs, her elevators. All right, so it lines with the elevators. So I need to come back more to be inside the structure. I need to, here are my two columns. 1 and 2, that's 17, let's call it. And that's that other one. I need to be in this row for the outer wall. Okay. So I need to be in this row right here. Here's the outer wall right here. Right here. And then everything from here is exposed. Little porch, step-ups, step-downs. And so right here, and there's some shit here where the deck is exposed and waterproofing is failing. And here's the inside the structure. So this, here's the pool, etc. Right. So right about there, and we're standing, let's see, in front of the ramp. Here's the ramp down ramp. So right about here's where we're standing, and right above our head is this screw up, the waterproofing all. Kind of like the guy's report now. I'm getting more and more of a crush on his report. How do I go backwards? 34 perhaps. No, about 29. I get these reports all mixed up. I've got them kind of screwed in my head. Preliminary plan. Oh, these are preliminary plans. This is the repair. I don't think it's going to be that evident in this one. I don't recall. So it'll be 24. Yeah, his overlay's not the same in this one. These aren't the plans I really want. This is I'm looking for ones for the column detail and the column and beam detail. Looks like that's not going to load right now. I think I can end this video with what I was trying to explain to you. That so yeah, I can see where the decking has acted like shit there. This is the plane, the last plane of the columns that failed. First we get this deck in here. I believe this is above room 101 or C, however you reference it. There's our shear plane path. This would create a nice little shear plane path. The deck failing would pull at these columns and definitely pull at the flooring here, depending on how it's integral into this. The decking is clearly integral inside this column. We don't see any separation. And as the decking fails, it cripples that face of the facade, causing the earthquake effect. We don't see any evidence a year before punch shear. We got plenty of drainage of this. We got drainage. You got some little small spots, nothing to write home about. The ceiling is significant, obviously. That's where our failure happened. So the finite programs could it run a program on this? So I'm being smart with that engineer that told me we should be running programs. Well, this is the problem with engineers like that they can't evaluate structures because they think that they would clear this structure. Then they would say the structure is good because they would say, okay, flaking paint. They can't enter that in their program. How did we get to flaking paint? How deep is this flaking paint's water issue? So they would just size it, measure it, look at the plans and say, okay, it's got steel in there, and they go, okay, that can hold this structure. That's good. All right, that's good. And that one's good. but in reality, it's missing out on the deterioration of the structure and how it's an invisible force that you can't see that's taking place in here, ready to puncture at the right moment, ready to puncture and drop down. This is puncture. And if that's the case, if this engineer thinks that she is so bright with the FINITE program, and you can see the water, it's not much, it's up to there. Remember the red column there, so you can see where the water really is. Whether, I don't know this time how much they pumped out. Then she should make $1 billion going around running FINITE programs for everybody, saying your building's good, your building's good, your building's good, or your building, I know exactly where it's going to collapse because I ran a program and it says right here your building's going to collapse because they're going to park this 2002 truck that doesn't even exist yet. Let's call it right 2000 whatever 22 truck is going to park here. When they come in, they're going to slam on their brakes right here, and then they're going to reverse, slam on his brakes again, creating these multiple stresses on this column. And I calculate that in my FINITE program, so it's okay. No, the FINITE programs and all that, they'll calculate the dead loads of the vehicle. They don't calculate the stresses that vehicle is putting on that structure as it comes here, slams itself in the middle. They say it can take 40 pounds per square foot. The deck can. I got into it with someone else about that. This vehicle is, depending on how fast it comes up here before it stops, the energy it puts down is greater than 40 pounds per square foot. So it stresses, and it has to be resolved, not in the mid-span, but it's resolving itself right at these columns. So I believe part of your problem is you should maintain the speed limit in there, but the forces are greater than what they're specifying. They don't have a charge. I got distracted by this. They don't have a wave force that they calculate. They just say 40 pounds. So yeah, it does say you can put 40 pounds per square foot in a parking garage, but that wave action creates a much larger surge charge, not a surcharge, surge and a charge. Okay, you're running forward and you come to an instant stop. You still weigh the same, but you know how much force you just put down on those shoes. Your feet even slide forward in your damn shoes. And so there we have the issues of cars in parking lots. And this is a shared deck over here. We got multiple issues with reinforcement. This reinforcement does run across, though, right above our head into this member here. And it just very well may be some cross steel in there, but it doesn't matter. It didn't hold up, did it? Ending the video. I know it's a long one, but I wanted to go. You guys keep posting there, wanting me to go over the comments, so I did it. There we go. I hit it. I know Peter's there, but there's many more people that sent me that same link over and over and over again. These links over and over again. They all wind up at the same place. So I've hopefully this resolves that again.